Thank you for downloading, subscribing, and telling your friends about the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. This episode is sponsored in part by Blue Shark Vodka, all the taste without the bite. Blue Shark Vodka, coming out of Wilmington, North Carolina. And by Spot On, tech that helps your business grow. And Joe Van Gogh Coffee, serving the community from seed to cup. And now, fresh off a call with their moms explaining what a podcast is, it's Max Trujillo and Matthew Weiss.
Hello, and thank you for listening to the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. I am your co-host, Max Trujillo.
And I am your co-host, Matthew Weiss. And today we have an extremely special episode. And this man really needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway, because he is probably one of the main reasons we have a podcast, and a successful podcast at that. He is none other than the Ace Man Adam Carolla. That's right, here in the flesh.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Everybody knows that I'm a total fanboy, so I'm going to try to not wig out and throw my panties at you or something. But
well, you did that when he showed up. You kind of did.
I'm from California and born and raised, listened to Love Line my whole life, and the ACS, the morning show, all that stuff. So always a big supporter of what you guys do. And as Matt said, we're trying to get this podcast off the ground. It wouldn't have happened if the ACS didn't already exist. So this feels full circle. So that's enough fanboying off. Appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Let's get into the hard questions now to really grill you.
Please.
Why Raleigh? Why did this come up on your radar?
People ask me a lot, like, why'd you write the book, or why'd you go to Raleigh, or why'd you do Dancing with the Stars? There's a lot of whys. People come to me and they go, you want to do this? And I go, let's do it. So that's how most of my work, career, life goes. Somebody else goes, I want you to come to Raleigh and do some shows. And I go, let's do it. That's basically how.
No wonder why you and Max are kind of kinship. That's kind of like your style. You're like, if somebody says to you, hey, let's go here, you're like, okay.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's be up for everything.
Yeah, and a lot of, I think sometimes especially it can get you into trouble because some people go well, what are you doing Bill O'Reilly's show for? And I go, because he asked me to do a show. Same way I'm doing your show.
Yeah. Actually, my mom knows you because of Tucker Carlson. So
yeah, it's like people ask me to do the show. I do the show. That's what I do. I talk. Right. That's my thing. No, I think there's this weird thing, especially as everything gets politicized and stuff. It's like you're endorsing something. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm talking. I do whatever show I do, wherever I go, whatever books I write, this show, that show, Tucker show. I just talk. That's what I get paid to do. And it's something I never thought I'd get paid to do. So I'm excited to do it.
That's kind of a question that I had for you. You're obviously recognized as a comedian, a radio personality, a writer. But the through line that I've seen from you has been your interview style. It seems very casual, it seems very comfortable, and you just ask the right question at the right time. Is this a process for you? Do you consciously work on being a great interviewer? Or even as you were saying, Matt, what does success kind of look like after a good interview where you're like, that, I felt like I connected?
No, I don't work at it. I don't know how one would work at it. I'm sure one could do the right amount of preparation. The reason I say the right amount of preparation is no knowledge going into an interview is probably not a good thing. You know what I mean? So it's because sometimes you find out later that the guy's really into vintage race cars or something. And you're like, we could have talked about vintage race. He's totally into it. I didn't even know he was into it. Or was in a show that you liked and you forgot he played the neighbor in it or something like that.
Boat,
so
Love
Boat.
Yeah.
So you got to do a certain amount of preparation. If you over prepare and you just have 45 questions lined up A to Z to ask, then you stop kind of listening and you start just kind of
you want to get
shooting
your
out questions. Right.
Yeah.
So, my and the other thing I've learned with interviews, really, it's really about just repetition, and not with the same person, but I just mean at the very beginning, nobody knows how to interview at the beginning.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And you just sit there. It's like ice skating your first time on the ice. Like, it's just, you don't know what you're doing. Nobody does. Even the most athletic, gifted, balanced people cannot skate first day out. You know what I mean? So it's really about repetition. But it is, to your point, it's really about listening and kind of putting yourself in a sort of neutral position. So, like, if I have my next question chambered, right, and you're answering my first question, or I go, do you like jerky? And then you go, oh yeah, when I was a Navy SEAL, that's all we ate in Tikrit. I'd go, okay, next question. What is your favorite Jell-O flavor? But
into the Navy
if I'm
SEAL
neutral,
thing.
I'm neutral. I just heard you say Navy SEAL, and now I got questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I always say, like, be kind of like a center fielder before the ball is hit. Don't be back on your heels. Don't be leaning right, left, forward. Just be in that kind of neutral, ready position, and then just listen, because people will say interesting stuff, and then you go down that rabbit hole with them.
That's kind of a beat that I've taken from your style. Is like, instead of writing down a bunch of questions, you may have like beats, like words or things, phrases that will remind you of just some content you might want to get into with somebody. That said, having listened to your show a lot and knowing that when you get on the road with Mike August and Chris Laxamana, you guys are usually on the search for delicious food.
Yes.
And I thought, well, they're coming to Raleigh. We do this show. We know food really well. And I know Brisket has been at the top of at least Mike August's brain, more than anything. And we actually just did an event called Bubbles and Brisket about 3 weeks ago, where we had 7 pit masters making their best version of brisket paired with champagne. And so we had a couple bands playing, and it was outdoor. It was fantastic. It rained like son of a bitch, but we had tents. But with all that said, Mike and I, we were emailing each other, and he's like, I want the best brisket. And I said, well, then we got to go here. So we haven't even set the stage, but we're actually coming to you not from our studios, but from the Boxyard in RTP at Jake Wood's Lawrence Barbecue.
Well, we have, we always go in search of brisket. Mike loves brisket. I love brisket. The best brisket I think we've had, because we go everywhere, as you guys know, every town, every city. And we always go, what's the food, you know? So when we go to, Wisconsin, we go for the Hungarian food or the Polish food. You know, we try not to cram a brisket agenda into towns.
Yeah.
If your whole thing is Polish, then we're eating Polish. You know, that's the way we do it. But when we go to the brisket-centric places in this nation, we go for brisket. So far, Martin's, but I think it was like Martin's downtown Nashville about 3 years ago, has been the best brisket we had. And then we later went back to Nashville and went to another Martin's, but it was like out of town, and it wasn't as strong as the downtown Martin's in Nashville so far. So that's the brisket to beat, I think.
We're going to take a quick little break to hear a word from our sponsors. That Blue Shark Vodka coming out of Wilmington, North Carolina.
Boom.
We're proud to have them as our new title sponsor, and they're made with non-GMO, heirloom variety North Carolina sweet corn, distilled 4 times into perfection. They do triple filtration, which makes the vodka extremely smooth, clean finish, and it makes that alcohol bite nearly vanish.
Yeah, they're Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite.
Check out Blue Shark Vodka at bluesharkvodka.com. And we talk to all kinds of restaurateurs on this podcast, some of them making innovative tacos. Others are all about perfecting the classic brisket. We know a little thing about that. They're also working to turn that love of food into a business, and that's often a bigger challenge. So our new sponsor is here to help. Spot On works with popular local restaurants like the Ruddy Duck Tavern and the Village Market in East North Carolina, getting them all set up with technology that they need to stay competitive in this industry. It's the kind of tech the chain down the street is already using, but made specifically for you, like a cloud-based point-of-sale system that not only takes orders and payments, but also ties in online ordering and takeout and delivery. Then it breaks it all down with that data so you can tweak it on your menu and set your staff schedule.
From fine dining to food trucks, Spot On's integrated restaurant management system can help make running a restaurant less stressful and more successful. And you get this end-to-end solution built specifically for your needs by a real person. That's right, Tanya Manibo. She's your local Spot On account executive, and she'll be your partner the whole way. You can just give her a call at 858-213-7820. That's right. That's her personal cell phone number, 858-213-7820, or send her an email. That's TanyaM@spoton.com. We'll also put all that information in the show notes. Check out Spot On. It's where business is personal.
This episode is also brought to you by Joe Van Gogh Coffee. Joe Van Gogh Coffee is a specialty coffee roaster and retailer located in Hillsborough, North Carolina. With 7 retail coffee shops across the Triangle and Greensboro, their shops feature award-winning coffees and a menu of specialty beverages and roasted beans, as well as fresh bakery and food items from Joe Van Gogh kitchens, catering, and special events. This month, Joe Van Gogh's featured coffee comes from Ethiopia. With flavor notes of plum, tangelo, black tea, and honey, this lightly roasted coffee is delicious and perfect for the summertime. For more information about Joe Van Gogh Coffee, visit their website at joevangogh.com and follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Here's a little clip that Adam let us use from his live performance Saturday night, actually after we recorded this podcast, at Good Nights, and featured on his podcast, The Adam Carolla Show. Get it on, Ace.
We went out to the, I wrote it down, we went to the Lawrence Barbecue at the Boxyard. The Boxyard. Boxyard. You guys been to the Boxyard? It's all the containers. It's all the containers. You see those? The steel containers all like stacked up. Like somebody's like, we should build houses and barbecues and commercial centers out of these shipping containers. And it's innovative. It's interesting. I kind of liked it, but I just kept thinking about all the poor people that were smuggled in those shipping containers. I couldn't enjoy my brisket. I was like, how many Haitians were packed into that container where you're now smoking brisket to make it to this country only to enter servitude and to die on the job? That's how I was thinking about it. You guys love brisket as much as I do. There's no way. Yeah, fuck these vegans. There's no way. When you bite into a piece of brisket, you're like, we were not only meant to eat cows, I'm surprised we don't hunt them. Like, I was this close to getting a knife and fork and chasing a cow down. Like, I was so into the ribs and the beef. It was fucking excellent. We should, it's not on my list, but we should really take a moment and really thank cows for a second. I mean, we got milk, we got cream cheese, we got cottage cheese. We got all this shit they squirt out of them, and then we got them. Burgers, sliders, brisket, ribs, it's all fucking there in one animal. And we just look at them like, oh, look at you, big dumb bovine creature. But, you know, if I think about it, like if you really just want to get philosophical about it, if you said, Adam, who's done more for you in your life? A cow or your sister Lauren? I'd be like, for sure the cow has. 1,000%. Cow never would have fucking borrow money from me so she could do her roof.
That brings up a question. When you thought about coming to Raleigh and you're like, oh, we're going to eat some good food. Yeah, did you think brisket or did you just think barbecue or what did you think about North Carolina?
So a couple of things. This is always the meal for us because do 2 shows Friday night, 2 shows Saturday night, 7:30 show into a 10 o'clock show. So there's no dinner Friday or Saturday night. Yeah. The other thing is, and I'll circle back to the brisket question, but The other thing is we leave LAX early on a Friday morning. By the time we land here with the time difference and a 5-hour flight, you pretty much go straight to the club. So there's no eating on the airplane, at least nothing that doesn't come in a box. And there's no eating that night, and there's no eating Saturday night. And then tomorrow, 5:30 in the morning, we're driving to the airport again. So this is our eating in a 2.5 day period.
Yeah.
This is our one sit down hot meal. Now, Mike chugs all the club crap, chicken fingers and stuff like that in the green room, but I'll try to save a little space for the good stuff. So
you're about to scarf down some grimace proportions right now.
Yes,
okay.
I'm into it. Mike's into it too, and Chris Laxamana for a little guy can pack away the food as well. So for us, whatever the town is known for, that's what we want. Since we don't have any dietary anything, we'll eat whatever, wherever. And we had a Z-Boy sandwich. I don't know if you guys ever had the Z-Boy. I got St. Louis.
Z-Boy's in St. Louis, I think.
Yeah, St. Louis. We had that on the road, and we just do everything. We love it, and we haven't had any good barbecue in a little while.
So when you say barbecue, I'd like to know. So when I first moved here from California, from Los Angeles to Raleigh, I just heard barbecue. We all in California, we use the word barbecue kind of as a catch-all. No shit, here it comes. Oh my God. Jake Wood's coming over here with his.
Look at that. And sides, too.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Barbecue in North Carolina is actually a specific thing. It's not just a term or like a verb. It's a noun. It specifically means pulled pork, like right here. This is barbecue. When you tell somebody I want barbecue and you're in North Carolina, you're talking about pulled pork.
Really?
Whereas, as we know, I'd like to know what did barbecue mean to a young Adam in the old Carolla house?
We didn't have money. We didn't have meat. We didn't have anything. We didn't have joy. Well, I mean, you gotta kind of think about it. Like, barbecue is food, but it's also kind of a celebration. It's something you do. There's food like sandwiches or even a pizza or spaghetti, and then we're going out to the crab shack and everyone's going to gather around and we're going to get the hammer out and bust up the shells and stuff. Or there's we're going to boil up some crawdad or something like that. It's a thing, so it's like, or fondue or something like, so some food is just food, like we're going out to eat food. And then other food is like, we're going out to celebrate and eat food. And barbecue is kind of have a good time and eat food is kind of my take on barbecue. And my family wasn't into having a good time or
it implied
or spending money on things. So we never went to barbecue. We didn't even know about it.
Jake, do you want to tell us what you've made here so we know what we're doing? Yeah, just grab that mic, pull it up. So Jake Wood, pitmaster here at Lawrence Barbecue. What have you prepared for us here?
Awesome. So we just got a little party platter, man. Kind of everything we got coming off fresh from the smokers today. Got our Texas-style brisket. Got some sticky-style spare ribs right there. Some of our party wings. Got some burn-ins over here off the fatty side. And then some pulled pork, Eastern style, with a little bit of mustard sauce in there. Got a tangy slaw. Got a deviled egg potato salad, a broccoli and snow peas Caesar. We call them Fancy Boy Brussels sprouts. They're deep fried. Got a crystal cane syrup on there with some shaved red onions and cotija. We got some blistered shishito peppers with some tahini, 3-cheese mac with a voodoo crumble, and then Q beans with the beef crackling. So pretty much our whole menu. Right here.
So thank you so much here, Ace. We also, Lee from Durham Distillery came by. Because we're a food and beverage podcast, we like to provide the nice food and the beverage. So we've got some conniption gin on in a pony keg. That,
I'm drinking some of it.
Lee put down. They're making the best gin in the nation, and they just happen to be here in Durham. So it's really cool. Lee and I went to your show last night. He was going to take his wife, and then realized that his wife's like, I'm not going to see Adam Carolla. It's like, okay. It's like,
you sound like my wife.
Yeah, or mine. Yeah. And so I was his date, and we came in. I'll let you know. Scores last night on the Rotten Tomatoes were not the best I've seen.
No, it was a bad outing. It was a very bad outing for me. And Brian. It was bad.
It was cool to watch Brian do really badly, though. That was
I'm
the
glad
best
that
part.
it was bad last night because I'm going tonight. So I'll expect your A material.
Tonight we'll bring it.
Nice.
So you're at Good Nights.
No, the show was good. The Rotten Tomatoes game was bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a game that's played on his show. We'll all sit down. We'll enjoy. We'll plow through all of this. Hopefully, we can show you what North Carolina really brings when it comes to food and beverage out here, and then you'll get a nice sustained meal for the rest of the day before you get out there.
You might be taking a nap.
Oh, I'll be taking a nap before the show tonight.
Exactly. The good old siesta. You're an authentic foodie. Like, you're not talking bullshit or just, it's not like a show. You're really into food.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself a foodie. Would consider myself a person who, we travel all over the country. We do these shows, I landed on Friday. We landed about 6 p.m., maybe 5:45. By the time we got out of the plane, it was straight to the club, We do have a 7 a.m. flight on Sunday. We will be leaving the hotel at 5:15. I don't get a chance to hang out and see that much because of the length of time I'm in the town for. Sure. So our thing is always, let's find one place to eat. And the reason you find a place to eat is A, we're hungry, but B, it's kind of symbolic of what the town is. You know what I mean? Like, here's what these people like, Yeah. Like I said, we go to places, in Massachusetts, or we go to places in Wisconsin. We go to these little Polish food joints or Hungarian food joints, and just soak it in. Thank God there's no poster of Guy Fieri here, because that guy's made it into the smallest Polish joints on the furthest strips that are way behind town. There's a big picture of Guy Fieri in there. Yeah. But so for us, it's kind of like for us, it's like half a culinary experience and then half like, hey, we get to meet people and see the vibe, and this is how they're living over here.
It's been said before that Jake Wood's the Guy Fieri of the Triangle, so
yes,
it kind of fits into the subject. So last one, though, we were talking about beverage, and you're not a stranger to also producing your own stuff. Kind of started with Mangria, I think, if I'm correct. You've had Endless Rant IPA. You have 818 Rye.
Yep.
Although didn't the Jenners or something also do something with an 818?
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Got to change the name, but it's really good rye.
Yeah. So that's really cool. So you're a beverage guy now. I mean, you are in that business. Any future ventures, or is there more coming from Carolla Drinks?
There's always something we're getting into, but I just never know what it is.
Yeah.
That's kind of the theme for me. I'm always doing something, but never quite sure what before I do it.
We'll have to talk to your people so we can get some distribution out here in North Carolina, because it's a control state and everything's a little silly out here when it comes to getting alcohol in. But
or you can just come out here and make a wine from North Carolina and blend it with the pod, and we'll do that together.
Yeah, the rules are insane everywhere.
Is there anything that you've ever been served that you're like, no, I can't eat that? Like any offal meats or like gizzard or haggis? Like you're just like, this is where I draw the line.
No, not really. I mean, we were in Alaska 2 weeks ago and we ate moose, and I didn't really enjoy it, but we ate it.
Well, one last thing. When I remembered leaving, when I got out of California, it was kind of out at a time when I evaluated that California wasn't really what it was once sold to me as a little boy. Like, this is the best state in the union. Everything's the best. Kind of slowly it gotten downhill. You've definitely had some rants about your feelings of California in general. I found a lot of opportunity in North Carolina, specifically Raleigh. The people here are amazing, fully embraced. Any thoughts about, have you outgrown California yet?
Oh yeah, or it's outshrunk me. I don't know which one's moving which direction.
Yeah.
I tell everyone this. I got twins. They're 15. They're going into the 10th grade, and I am going to drive a U-Haul to their graduation. Like, I will not pull up in my car. I'll pull up in a box van, and the second they, throw their cap in the air before it hits the ground, I'm heading out of town.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had a question about that. Do you fancy yourself as like Don Carolla or Don Corleone because you named your son Santino?
No, I don't. We only named him Santino because my last name's Carolla. It's Italian, but my first name's Adam. So it's people are so dumb. They go, "What kind of name is Adam? Like, what are you?" And I'm like, Carolla. What do you think? And they go, "Yeah, but Adam." And I was like, if my name was Tony Carolla, would you understand what my heritage was? And so people think I'm Jewish, then I got into comedy. I did construction for 15 years. No one thought I was Jewish. The second I got into comedy, it's like, "You're Jewish, right?"
We Jewish people, we don't swing hammers. Yeah.
So I just said, if the kid's last name is Carolla, let's give him a good Italian first name. Then there won't be the constant, "What's your heritage? What are you? Where are you from?"
Yeah, make it simple for us.
Right.
Well, awesome. Adam, thanks so much. I don't want to keep us all waiting here. We got a lot of food to plow through. I really appreciate you coming out to North Carolina and Raleigh specifically. You got a show tonight at Good Nights. I'm saying this as if someone's going to hear this, but this is coming out afterwards, so it doesn't matter. The show was great.
Thanks.
Last night was great, and we look forward to seeing you tonight. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, man.
Adam, thanks so much, and good luck tonight. Jake, thank you so much for having us here. Everybody,
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
download the Adam Carolla Show. Subscribe to our show. You will listen and then go eat and drink very merrily.
Let's eat.
Thanks for listening to the NC F&B podcast. And if you've stuck with us this long, review us on iTunes and remember, 5 stars are encouraged. Proof Alcohol Ice Cream. We pour art and science into every bite. An artisan ice cream company from Columbia, South Carolina. Proof is changing the way people think about dessert. Triangle Wine Company, locally owned and operated. Triangle Wine Company is committed to creating the best shopping experience in fine wine and craft beer.